Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics on the Hindu's YouTube channel. This is a show on which we look at the big news and domestic politics that are making the headlines across the country. And every week, somehow or the other, perhaps because of the nature of the country, we find something or the other to talk about. Now, this week, political parties got down to the serious task of candidate selection, especially the BJP and the Congress. More importantly, the BJP seems en route to sewing up important alliances in Odisha with the Biju Janata Dal after a gap of around 25 years, and the TDP, former allies of the BJP, now set to be back in the NDA fold. The target of 370 Lok Sabha seats set by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is being taken very seriously indeed by the BJP. In this context, the 130 seats in South India, where BJP is present only in patches, is an important story to track and will be the subject of this week's Talking Politics. Now, first let us look at what the BJP has done with regard to seats in the southern states of Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Puducherry, Lakshadweep, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Out of the 130 seats in the south, the BJP has a presence in 29 seats, the bulk of them from Karnataka and around 4 seats from Telangana. It is in an assessment last year done by the BJP. This was right after the winter session of Parliament. It put 85 out of these 130 seats in the most vulnerable category for itself. That is, seats that the BJP has never won, and basically decided to deploy Vistaraks or people, full-timers who go and stay in these areas and try to do some party work there, basically to complete booths. Now, what is a complete booth? In the BJP's terminology, a booth committee would have, say, about 10 to 11 members, and it has to have one woman member at least, and representation from SC, STs, backwards, and other marginal communities. And together, it makes one booth per polling booth, and it is their job to reach out to voters in that booth, make sure the electoral slips are out, make sure that the party's campaign work is also reached out to voters, and especially on polling day, help your own voters cast their votes in the polling booth in question. Now, also, their job has been, along with ministers, in fact, there's been a large-scale travel by ministers across the country, not just in the south, but the work of both these people right at the top with the ministers and in terms of just party workers is to assess issues, ground issues, and caste community equations in those seats and give feedback to the party high command. Now, the jury is still out on whether all of this will work. Now, the model for all of this has been the Vistarak program, which was undertaken by Union Home Minister Amit Shah when he was BJP president. He did this right after the UP elections of 2017, where BJP won a full majority. And Amit Shah basically, along with the other leaders of the party, got together a list of about 115 seats where the party had come second in the past, or where it has a significant vote share but has never managed to win that seat. Out of these 115 seats in the 2019 elections, BJP managed to win 80 odd out of these 115 seats. Now, as I said, the jury is still out on whether this is going to work in the southern states. And the alliances with the Janata Dal S in Karnataka, the TDP and the Janasena in Andhra Pradesh, and attempts at alliances with various parties in Tamil Nadu like the PMK, AIADMK, and the DMDK seems to be part of that strategy. Now, this is what one calls organizational fine-tuning, of populating the party with people on the ground, because, you know, if you're talking about making your presence felt, you have to have people on the ground. And to do the political work, talk about the party's ideology, the work of the central government, work of governments in states where the party has a government, take care of issues related to people. So if there's a water issue, you raise your voice against it, organize some protests, etc., etc. So this is the organizational groundwork, as I've mentioned. The second thing to do is to consolidate community support. Now, BJP, except in Karnataka, where a large community like the Lingayats stuck to the party and forms the party's core support base. In the other southern states, that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, the BJP is hoping that alliances and some announcements by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Telangana for the subcategorization of the Madhya SC community, etc., will help in that direction. But largely, they are depending on alliances to coalesce the charisma of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the community base of the alliance partners in those states. Now, the third aspect of spreading ideological consonance through narrative building is also important. Sometimes that's where all of it starts. When you like the story associated with a particular party, you like their ideas, and even if there is not much of a organizational strength, there is still some vote that accrues through that, or at least it makes people mindful of a presence of these kind of ideas. That is also extremely important, and that is something Prime Minister Narendra Modi especially has been working on for more than a couple of years now with regard to the southern states. In my assessment, let me just take up the case of two of these southern states here, Tamil Nadu and Telangana. Now, much has been written about Prime Minister Modi's visits to southern states in the last 3 months. Now, he began the year with a tour of Tamil Nadu, Lakshadweep, and Kerala on January 2nd and 3rd, that is right off the block this year. And he inaugurated developmental projects worth thousands of crores. Prime Minister Modi also took up his 11-day tour of South India, where he visited several temples associated with the Ramayana in the run-up to the consecration of the Ram temple in Ayodhya on January 22nd. On January 16th and 17th, he visited Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, again for inaugurating various projects of more than 4,000 crores. On February 27th to 28th, he visited Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra again, inaugurating projects worth rupees 24,000 crores. In all, in the first 2 months of the year, he visited the five southern states more than 5 times each. And he combined what he terms Vikas and Virasat, development and heritage, of projects being inaugurated, developmental projects and infrastructure projects being inaugurated, and visits to temples associated with the Ramayana in the south. For over 2 years, Prime Minister Modi has also been the force behind the Kashi Tamil Sangamam and the Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam programs. And this is a celebration of linkages between Tamilians and these parts of the country, especially in the case of the Kashi Tamil Sangamam, of linkages which are specifically with regard to Hindu religion and rituals, of ties that go back centuries, predating the Dravidian movement and its ideology, which is currently holding sway in Tamil Nadu, and ever since, in fact, the 1930s when it started and the 1960s when it first came into government. And so Kashi Tamil Sangamam, etc., has been about cultural and religious links between Tamil Nadu and the rest of the country, quite separate from a very, very aggressive Tamil identity. It was the Dravidian movement talked about social justice, anti-Brahmanism, and all of these other issues, not so much, actually quite separate from ritualistic Hindu observance. And these programs have basically highlighted that there has been a linkage which is pre-constitution, pre-independence and pre-Dravidian movement. Now, the visit and worship at sites associated with the Ramayana like Palani, Srirangam and Dhanushkodi was not just limited to the consecration of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, where Prime Minister said that he would be undertaking some rituals to prepare himself for the consecration ceremony, but it was also a reiteration of the BJP's ideological point of cultural nationalism and a sacred geography associated with Hinduism in India that includes all corners of the country. There are places of worship commemorating the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, places where the Pandavas visited, places where Rama, Lakshmana and Sita visited, and points which are important in the Ramayana and Mahabharata, which are across the country. So that makes up for a sacred geography. And that is one point which has also been reiterated in the past few years. Now, that cultural nationalism is being seen as a bridge over what the opposition sees as a north and south divide, and that the bridge existed, this cultural nationalism bridge, according to the BJP, existed before modern political parties that hold sway in Tamil Nadu came into existence. Now, this is the push that the BJP has been doing in terms of narrative building. Now, while cultural nationalism was the ideological narrative set by Prime Minister Modi in Tamil Nadu, in Telangana, he announced and later set up the commission to go into the subcategorization of the Dalit Madhya community, which is important both numerically and electorally in the state. This directly points to the apprehensions expressed again and again by parties that do well in the south, that the BJP does not get South caste equations. It is also a way in which the Prime Minister Modi responded to calls for an OBC caste census. His response has always been to hark back to more marginal communities within these categories, and saying that these communities need to be brought to the level at which the dominant communities among the OBCs and the Dalits seem to be enjoying the fruits of reservations for these communities. So that is the other narrative that is happening, and that's happening in Telangana. Now, some say that BJP's drive this time around to get 50% or more of the vote across the country is to spike the talk that it is a party of the Hindi belt. And it is to spike it once and for all, to say that no, we are not just a Hindi belt party. Across the country, we get votes, and say, so therefore, when the opposition says that this is just a Hindu and Hindi party, it is not true. Now, the last few states where the party has scarce presence, coincidentally, are in the south. Now, the polls are due to unfold in the next couple of months, and this is an interesting subplot as far as the BJP strategy is concerned. Extremely interesting for political observers, and of course we will revisit it once the results are out, likely sometime in May, and a new government is constituted. Now, I shall be seeing you next week with another topic, and as far as this particular one is concerned, thank you so much for watching.